Welcome to Me, Myself, and I, episode number 24. This is the second installment of my interview, Dreaming with Joe Pardo. Please, if you already haven't done so, listen to the first segment of the show, episode number 23, Dreaming with Joe Pardo, part 1.
Sometimes in life things can come across as rather odd or often peculiar, a little like the way that you decide to tune into other radio stations other than ours.
Wishful thinking, been dreaming, it's my time to shine. Wanting, waiting, been hoping for a girl like you to know. I wanna get the girls I couldn't get before. I wanna be in a band, make that music. I wanna be in a band, get those crews. I wanna be in a band, smoke those dudes. I wanna be in a band.
If you enjoyed that introduction song, head on over to iTunes and pick it up. That's I Wanna Be in a Band by Lovestruck Robot off their debut album, I Wanna Be in a Band. You can download the entire album there, as well as their new single, Smoke Show. For more information, please visit lovestruckrobot.com. Good morning, good afternoon, hip hip hooray. This is Me, Myself, and I. I'm your host, Anthony Hayes. If you are not already doing so, please follow me on Twitter at @ahayes_MMI. I am also on Instagram, @ahayes_MMI. And the newest addition to the Me, Myself, and I arsenal, Me, Myself, and I Radio on Facebook. And of course, when all else fails, head on over to the mothership, Me, Myself, and I Radio.com. Lots to talk about, less than half an hour to do it in. So let's get into Me, Myself, and I, shall we? Somebody asked me the other day what exactly Me, Myself, and I is. And I put it to them like this. The me element is who you are. The gas station attendant, the father. The myself element is who you see yourself as, learning from all those mistakes, learning from the past. And the I element is the future and all the things you have yet to become. So I think in that you and I are kind of on the same wavelength as far as morals and values are concerned, because I do feel very passionately about that as well. So Joe, I know your time is valuable. I want to get to the last two questions. The next one is, what website, resource, or book can you recommend to the audience to help them learn more about today's topic, or things that maybe influenced you?
So, all right. I mean, there's a couple books, a couple resources. I mean, there's a lot. I'll just briefly go over a couple of them that have influenced me. So, all right. Well, get your pen ready, because number one is a book called Masters of Doom. Have you ever heard of this book?
I have not. I'm interested.
It's about the people who created Doom, like the game, the first-person shooter. id Software, John Carmack, and John, like whatever the heck his name was. Like the PC game. Yeah. How they it's
elementary school, middle school.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's how they made it happen. It's a very interesting story. It's been a long time since I've read it, but you know what? It did have a bit of an impact on me. I don't read a lot of books, so because I'm very slow at reading.
That's very funny.
Yeah, I know everybody says, "Oh, you love to write, but you hate to read." I'm like, yeah, I know, because I'm slow at it, and it's probably just because I haven't practiced enough at it. I haven't read enough at it, but I'm so slow at it that I just feel like my time is better spent watching a documentary or learning in another way. Now, I can read on the computer very fast, but when it comes to books, I'm just pretty darn slow.
Really? I'm the opposite, because I get sidetracked and my ADD starts going all over the place.
Oh.
I need a concrete
copy in my hands where I can smell the pages, and that's the only way that I can get into it. If I'm on the Kindle or phone or computer, I start checking Facebook and Twitter, and yeah, let's not get into that.
Well, I can read fast on the computer because I can highlight I highlight it in chunks as I go down and read it. That's why I can read faster on the computer. But yeah, no, it definitely had a little bit of an impact, and it's a great story for anybody who's looking to do something that's wildly different that didn't necessarily exist at the time. Another book, this is more of a tip book, is the Myth of Multitasking. It's basically a very, very, very short story explaining why multitasking is a myth. And to give you a very quick analysis of it, Anthony, if you were to say 1 through 10, with A through, I should probably know this by now because I've used this example a few times, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Like, I could say that super fast, but try saying 1A, 2B, 3C. Like, see how I stutter there?
Yep.
That's because that's called switch tasking, and most people think that multitasking is real, but it's actually not real. You're just switching, your brain is switching between two tasks. For the computer geeks out there, your brain is a single core instead of a dual core or quad core, octa core, or I don't even know what the hexacore.
I'm a victim to thinking I can multitask all the time, and I just sacrifice so much by doing that. Not making sure things are 110%, and they're more like 99. And I know I'm capable of much more, but I just have to slow down and really focus on one thing at a time. And I'm definitely a victim to that myself. So I hear where you're coming from. That's a great resource,
do one thing well, man. Do one thing well at a time. And that's coming from somebody who gets regularly called a jack of all trades. So and quote unquote master of none. Well, screw you. I just do things one at a time. And sometimes I can switch tasks, like working on 2 websites at once because I have to wait for the sites to load. I'll just jump back and forth. Now with that said, I do have sometimes it takes me a minute to get back to the tab, and it takes me a minute to keep track of where I'm at when I'm working on. But for the most part, I don't know, I'm very good at being able to bounce back and forth, but I know I can't do both at the same exact time. I can only do it in that time between loads.
You have good time management skills.
Well, not perfect, but yes, good. Wow. We'll go with good. So outside of my own book, which we can plug that later, but a book that is coming out later this year or early next year is called Stop Chasing Influencers. I can't recommend it enough. It's a book that it's written by friends Jared Easley and Kamanzi Constable, and I got an advanced copy down at Podcast Movement, and it was phenomenal. I know. Next year, man. Next year.
I know. I'm gonna find a way to get there. I really am. Chicago. I've got some contacts up there. I might have a place to stay. I really need to get out there.
Would definitely make it cheaper.
Everybody has been talking about it. Everybody's been talking about it. The guys in Digital Dads were saying what a great experience they had there, and just they took out of it a completely different perspective than they thought they were when they went into it. They thought it was going to be something else, but it was more about getting to know people as opposed to getting to know podcasting. That's what they took out of it. Getting to know your listeners and making that connection, and getting to know that me, myself, and I element of everyone, not just yourself.
I couldn't agree more. I met so many people over the course of 3 days.
Did you run out of business cards?
I didn't, but I also brought 500 with me. Wow. So I didn't run out of business cards, but I put a big dent in my box where there was no dent before. So So I gave out a lot, and I took in quite. I think I took in like just over 30 cards myself, but not everyone I met. Most people I met didn't have cards. So, that
should make for some good contacts and interviews coming forward, I would imagine, for the Dreamers podcast.
I got quite a few coming up. Some pretty big names that were at not the biggest of names, but pretty big names that were there. So I'm looking forward to get them out there.
Cool.
But yeah, so that's and then if you're looking for something, I mean, there's my book, the 31 Life-Changing Concepts book. But really, if you're looking for how to figure out, and I have a book that's coming out soon-ish called How to Dream, and there's a whole subtitle, but I do a How to Dream speech assembly for kids, and I'll get Anthony, if you could put the link in there for that video.
Absolutely.
It's like 40 minutes long, but I mean, you've watched it, haven't you?
Yes, and definitely recommend that everybody else does too, because if you can inspire kids, you can inspire anyone. Because to be able to relate to children and to get a message across to them into a way that they're going to understand it is not something many people can say that they can do. So if anybody is so inclined, take 40 minutes out of your time. It's well worth the view, and we'll definitely have the link to that and everything else we're talking about in the show notes and on the blog at memyselfandiradio.com. So,
well, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. I mean, and there's so much more. I mean, if you go to joepardo.net, you can get all my contact information, my music album, Adventuratorium. You can get the book is only 99 cents on Amazon, or it's $9.99 if you want to buy the black and white edition off of Amazon. The audiobook exists for it. There's a whole host of things there. There's even more than that. Videos that I've done. I do too much stuff. But that's part of the mystique, I guess.
You're like your own superhero, and with a team of clones of just Joes running around. And you've got this one guy over here, he runs a podcast. This one other guy blogs, but it's all you at the center of it. And I think I appreciate the fact that you're able to do so much with, I would imagine, so little time and so little resources, and just be so successful at what you do on so many different levels. And I know you've got a lot of huge things coming in the future, and people we'll definitely gonna have to have you back on to talk about all those things. So I know you've got some huge announcements coming. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm putting you on the spot. You got to come back on the show and let us know what's coming in 2016 for Joe Pardo.
Dude, I'm trying to get through 2015. I got like 4 or 5 projects going on before the end of the year.
Out, buddy. It's August.
I know. It is. Cause I mean, I host a conference in September. I have
let us know all about that. Let me stop you right there.
Well, there's a if you're into podcasting or blogging and you live in the Philadelphia area, and that includes up and down the Mid-Atlantic states, go to podcastmidatlantic.com. We have one of our sponsors is Audio Technica, which is amazing. DreamHost, Blueberry, Simple Podcast Press, as well as Appendipity. So, podcast movement as well. I don't want to forget anybody, but and I feel like I am.
First conference. This is revolutionary. This is not.
I don't know about. No, I don't want to say.
Get up there, listen to some guy talk for 2 hours that you never heard of. This is interactive. There's giveaways. There's door prizes. You're gonna get so much out of this, and I am embarrassed that I can't be there to support you, but I hope that everybody else will get there and do that and take my place and just have a great time.
I would love to have you come up, and I wish that was a possibility. Maybe for next year we'll work on getting you up here with see the family and come to the conference. But I mean, it's only $35. It's like 10 hours long. It includes breakfast and lunch, free headshots, professional headshots from somebody who does photography for the likes of Steven Tyler and Billy Joel and so many more people. So, and if you register before, I think this comes out, well, it's August 24th, you get a free t-shirt